Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it to it, guys. Let's kick this can over and let's get on the air. What do you say? Let's do it right now. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, guys. My name's Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Guys, we're on the air for you whenever you need us. We're always on the air as soon as the information becomes available. We have a great show for you today. We have a lot of information to give you. You might also want to take notes here. Take notes, guys. There's a lot of information you might need for your own safety, your family's safety, or even your friends around the country or around the world. Okay, let's go now. First thing I want to talk about today is a storm that's hitting the Gulf Coast of the United States, mostly in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, going over into Texas. By the end of the week, it'll be over in Texas. Let's talk about this. This comes from the National Weather Service about 1 hour ago.
Good afternoon for the National Hurricane Center with your daily video update on now Tropical Storm Bertha. We're going to start first with the satellite imagery because that's really the big emphasis today. I want to show you how all of the intense showers and thunderstorms are located south of the circulation center, which is about here. So see all of these bright colors in satellite, that's where all the strongest shower and thunderstorm activity is. And that's because the storm is experiencing what we call northerly shear, or there's strong winds to the north that are pushing all of that shower and thunderstorm activity to the south. That's what is impeding additional development, and we think Bertha is at or near its peak intensity today. So let's take a look at the current intensity. Wind speeds are 60 miles per hour. The pressure is down to 995 millibars, and it continues to sort of crawl off to the northwest or north-northwest at 3 miles per hour. Now, where's it going to go? So let's look at the track forecast. Going to continue to move more to the west. So a little bit of a turn more to the west later today, approaching the southeast, extreme southeast Louisiana late Wednesday. At this point, between the northerly vertical shear that we just talked about and land interactions plus dry air, should commence a weakening trend and continue to weaken as it sort of moves along the coast, the southern coast of Louisiana. The feet above normal situation. And we'll end with, I'll show you really quickly, be some shower and thunderstorm activity along extreme Louisiana or portions of the northern Gulf Coast. But look, all that extreme perspective, but it looks like if this trend continues, the bulk of the hazards will be displaced just offshore. You can always get the latest information from us at hurricanes.gov, and we'll be back here tomorrow at the same time.
What does a...
Okay, they're going to come back on the air tomorrow, and I'm going to continue update you on what's going on here, because this storm is going to hit, and it's going to hit at least in Texas and possibly even over in Louisiana, Mississippi. If that huge wind mass that's coming from the north decreases, that storm could move up into Louisiana and Texas by possibly even tomorrow. Okay, even tomorrow. But this storm is expected to weaken, and by the time it hits Texas, it will probably be a tropical depression. We don't know that for sure because it's in such a place down in the Gulf of America where it's not going to have much inkling of hitting land anytime soon. But it could. I'm just saying it could. If things change and that wind mass coming from the north weakens, that storm will push up towards the north, then it will hit land. Now, I talked to my colleagues over in New Orleans, Louisiana, and Jefferson County and Orleans Parish, okay? I shouldn't say Jefferson County, Jefferson Parish and Orleans Parish. Those people down there are already gearing up. They've had practice sessions, they've had preparedness drills, and both the sheriff's office and their correctional centers have had drills how to evacuate prisoners if necessary. And the citizens of New Orleans and the citizens of Jefferson Parish and Orleans Parish have geared up in case that storm hits and in case those levees weaken and New Orleans takes on water. New Orleans has, in fact, in the past taken on water because, as you all know, or most of you know, New Orleans is below sea level. New Orleans is below sea level. When the wave action, when the hurricanes, the tropical storms hit Louisiana, bad things happen. Real bad things happen. We're going to watch Tropical Storm Bertha very closely. We're going to see what happens and pass this information on to all of you. Okay? Now, with that said, we have even more information than that. Let's go down to our USGS map momentarily. I'm not going to be on the USGS map for very long, but I want to show you what's going on here. Okay? Some big things have happened during the past 24 hours. Yesterday morning, I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. Yesterday morning, off the coast of Vancouver Island, we had a 5.6 magnitude earthquake. Now, with that happening, we've also told you those earthquakes are going to continue up in the Pacific Northwest. They're absolutely going to continue up in the Pacific Northwest. Given that situation, like I said yesterday, we had a 5.6 earthquake closer to the Juan de Fuca Fault. This zigzag fault line here is a Juan de Fuca Fault. Juandefuca, Juan de Fuca Fault. The 5.6 earthquake off of Vancouver Island here yesterday morning at 2:36 a.m. happened over here closer to the Juan de Fuca Fault. We talked extensively about what happened with that fault and what's going to happen with the Cascadia earthquake. Today, further down here to the south, we had a 4.6 earthquake right here off the coast of Bandon, Oregon. Off the coast of Bandon, Oregon. This is a 3.6 aftershock. This is the 3.6 aftershock that happened just a short while ago. This is a 4.6 earthquake here off the coast of the Blanco fracture, off the coast of Bandon, Oregon, on the Blanco fracture zone. Okay? Almost immediately after that 5.6 earthquake hit, 24 hours later, we have a 4.6 earthquake down here. Again, I want to emphasize, this is the Cascadia subduction zone region. This isn't on the Cascadia subduction zone, but this is in the Cascadia subduction zone region. Okay? We are going to continue to see earthquakes here. They're going to happen. I've told you that, and I've told you that, and I've told you that. I've asked everybody to keep their eyes open, keep their heads on a swivel. Okay? These earthquakes are going to continue to hit no matter whether you want them to or not. You can tell yourselves, oh, this isn't going to happen to me, but guess what? If you live in this area, guys, if you live in this area, you need to gear yourselves up. It could happen to you. Yes, it could happen to you. You need to be prepared. We keep talking about this day in and day out about emergency preparedness. You need to be prepared for whatever happens, whether it be an earthquake, whether it be a hurricane, whether it be a tropical storm, a tornado, a mass exodus from the area because of terrorist activity, or anything else. You need to be prepared for it. Things happen. Things can happen. Okay? You need to be prepared for it. Given this information here, we have more earthquakes than that. Okay? Nothing much is happening up in Alaska, as you can see. Things have calmed down in Alaska. Yesterday in Alaska, we had 75 earthquakes in mainland Alaska and down around the Aleutian Island Fault Zone. That has calmed down. That's totally calmed down. However, let's go over here north of Honshu, Japan, north of Hokkaido, Japan here. This is over closer to Russia. Close to Russia. This is a 4.0 moderate earthquake here. 4.0 moderate earthquake here. Okay? Like I said, it's close to Russia. This peninsula here belongs to Russia. Okay? Now, USGS is not showing all the earthquakes here in Japan. There are 3 other earthquakes here. They're also moderate earthquakes as well. Okay? Now, I want to go down here into Guam, south of Guam here. About 58 kilometers, about 28 miles southwest of Marizo Village, Guam, we had a 5.0 large earthquake hit here. A 5.0 large earthquake hit here. About 28 miles southwest of Marizo Village, Guam. This is far enough off the coast of Guam, nobody felt this earthquake at all. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. But it is still a large earthquake here. That means seismic energy is here. Seismic energy is here in the Northern Mariana Trench. Remember that. It's here. The seismic energy here is flowing to the north as well. It's going to go up into Japan. From there up towards the Kamchatka Peninsula and over into the Aleutian Island Fault Zone, over into Alaska. Okay? It's going to happen. It's going to happen, guys. Guarantee it. Now, I want to go over into the Philippines. Okay? When I first came on the air, I opened up the USGS map and we showed you a 5.0 earthquake here on Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao Island here is the largest island in the Philippines. It's the southernmost largest island. This is a 5.0 earthquake here. 5.1 large earthquake here. 7 kilometers, 3.5 miles west-northwest of Calbe, Philippines. West-northwest of Calbe, Philippines, on Mindanao, Philippines. People felt this earthquake, guys. This was on land. This is on land. Okay? This is in the hillsides here. This is in the hillsides here. People felt this earthquake. There's going to be some casualties here only because we just got through having a 7.4 earthquake over here off the west coast of the Philippines. Just got through doing this about 4 or 5 weeks ago. We continue to have earthquakes here. This is not the only earthquake here in the southern Philippines. There are others here, but USGS is not showing them. But this is a 5.1 earthquake here. 5.1 earthquake. This is also 58 kilometers deep. Shell earthquake. Shell earthquakes cause more damage because it's closer to the surface of the earth, closer to the crust of the earth that we walk on. That's why it causes more damage here. Okay? Pray for the people in the Philippines. Over here in the central Philippines here. Again, this is not the only earthquakes here. Central Philippines here. This is also 4.6 earthquake here. Southeast of Talisay, Philippines. Talisay, Philippines. Again, this is off the coast of all the islands here. No, I don't think anybody felt this earthquake at all. The ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of the quake when it's out in the ocean, and most likely nobody felt this earthquake at all. Okay? Now, let's continue going over here. Okay? Before I go further down into Indonesia, I want to go over here. Okay? This is China. 4.9, 5.0 earthquake here in south central China. 4.9, 5.0 earthquake here in south central China. Going over here into the Himalaya Mountains. This is a 4.2 earthquake here. Guys, this is the edge of the plate. As I've explained to you before, we have the greatest subduction zone in the world down here in Southeast Asia, mostly down here in Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Tonga, the Legacy Islands down here, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia, Australia. The largest subduction zone in the world. Why? Because we have 7 different tectonic plates in motion here. 7 different tectonic plates in motion. Each one of the tectonic plates here is moving anywhere from 7 to 9 millimeters per year. 7 to 9 millimeters per year. That's about 3 inches per year. That's huge movement. Years ago, someone in Indonesia wrote me, sent me an email, asked me specifically why they had so many earthquakes here in Indonesia. The simple answer is this is the largest subduction area in the world. You're going to see more earthquakes than anywhere else, almost anywhere else here in Indonesia. That's why. That's exactly why. Okay? From here, from Indonesia, earthquakes go over here into China. Actually, they go over here into Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Burma here, go over here in India, up into China, up here in the Himalaya Mountains. We have a moderate earthquake here, 4.2 moderate earthquake here. This came out of Indonesia. This seismic energy came out of Indonesia originally. 4.2 earthquake here. 4.2 earthquakes are moderate earthquakes. Moderate earthquakes, which means these tiny villages here in Tibet, the Himalaya Mountains, Nepal area have gotten some shaking today. They've gotten some shaking. Those people here in Tibet, Nepal area don't have much money. They have very little money. They're living tiny villages here. Okay? 4.2 earthquake here. USGS not showing any other earthquakes here in the Himalaya Mountains, and they have one earthquake showing here in Afghanistan. Afghanistan again. This is a 4.0 moderate earthquake here in Afghanistan. Okay? This also 309 kilometers deep. Still a fairly moderately deep earthquake. Moderately deep. This earthquake is not going to propagate anything, but this is still a moderately deep earthquake. Guys, because it's moderately deep, they did feel some shaking on the surface here where people are. People here in Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan here, they live very modestly. They don't have much money. Most of them are nomads. They travel from place to place. Some of them live in caves. Some of them here in Afghanistan and Pakistan have built mud buildings, mud brick buildings. When earthquakes 4.0, an earthquake happens, they buckle. They buckle. They're not seismically retrofitted with steel rods going through the brick or anything else. As a result, when earthquakes happen, the homes and buildings fail. That's probably what happened today in Afghanistan. This is not the only time we've had earthquakes here in Afghanistan. They continue to happen all the time. Now, from here in Afghanistan, we have two tectonic plates going north and going to the south. One part of the tectonic plate goes up here to the north of Iran, goes over here through the Caspian Sea here, and goes over here in the Black Sea here. The southern part of the tectonic plate goes down here to the south here, goes down through Pakistan, India over here to Iran, goes through here to the south, into Iran, Iraq, and up into Syria, and over into northern Turkey. Okay? There are all kinds of earthquakes today in Iran and Iraq. All kinds of them. Why? Because the United States and other Arab countries are attacking Iran. That's why we have earthquakes here in Iran. The USGS is not showing them. Okay? Yesterday morning, the United States made a major attack on the Pixaver Mountain, which has a nuclear power plant in it. We blew it up. 5.3 earthquake happened here north of Tehran yesterday. More bombings are ongoing. Iran wants to have a war. Iran says they want to attack the United States. They can't do it, so they're going to attack our bases here in the Middle East, attack other allies in the Middle East as well. Iran ultimately is going to not survive. Like I said yesterday, we knocked out the power in Iran over here in and around the Strait of Hormuz here, around Bandar Abbas. We blew up their bridges. We blew up their sailing infrastructure. They had a huge amount of fast boats here. We blew them up as well. Iran had a huge control tower here in Bandar Abbas that controlled shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. We blew it up completely. It's destroyed. The communications networks have gone down. The transportation systems here in Iran have been diminished and gone down. The rail systems between Bandar Abbas and the rest of Iran have also been destroyed. That system is ongoing. That system of destruction is ongoing. President Trump is going to totally destroy their infrastructure so they can't survive any longer to attack anybody else. That's what's happening here. President Trump has already told them that. Okay? Do we have any questions about that? Now, the United States Geological Survey is not showing any other earthquakes anywhere in Europe at all. Nothing. Not a thing. There are about 1,000 earthquakes here in Europe. I want to just throw that out there. There are about 1,000 earthquakes throughout Europe. They're there. Doesn't matter whether the USGS wants to bid it or not, there are over 1,000 earthquakes here in Europe every day, every week. It doesn't stop. It does not stop. Okay? Now, down here south of South America here, right here, okay, we have a 4.8 earthquake here. This is south of Ushuaia, Argentina. Notice where it's at. It's on the Nazca Fault. The Nazca Fault. The Nazca Fault system comes all the way along the western coast of South America here. Okay, down here to the south, we have a moderate 4.8 earthquake here. This seismic energy will probably transfer over here into the South Sandwich Islands at some point in time. Okay, as I reported last week, we had about 5.0 and large earthquakes here in the South Sandwich Islands. That energy transported itself, migrated itself up the Antarctic Ridge here, and moved into the South Mid-Atlantic. We still have energy migrating here. Notice here in the North Mid-Atlantic here, we have a large 5.2 earthquake here. Large 5.2 earthquake. For the north here, this is the 5.3 earthquake here. 5.3 earthquake. Guys, this seismic energy is going to continue moving north, all the way up in, including up here into Iceland, and possibly up here further north into Svalbard. It's going to happen. As I have explained before, the Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding here. What is going on? What's going on here, guys? Let me bring up our webcam so I can show you what's happening here. All these earthquakes that you see here in the Mid-Atlantic Ocean, all these earthquakes here are leading to the expansion of the Mid-Atlantic Fault. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding from the center, like this, okay? The fault is pushing Europe and Africa in an easterly direction. On the same token, the Mid-Atlantic Fault is also pushing Greenland, Canada, the United States, Mexico, and South America, Central America, in a southwesterly direction. It's happening. At some point in time, we're going to see major seismic activity here in the Mid-Atlantic Ocean. We're going to see it. It's going to happen all at once. As that Mid-Atlantic Fault expands, we're going to see more and more seismic activity here. At some point in time, we're going to see a huge amount of seismic activity here. Why? Because as that fault expands, we have magma from beneath that's going to mosey up into the fault zone. We're going to see magma come up, possibly volcano islands coming up here in the Atlantic Ocean. That hasn't happened for a very long time, but we're probably going to see it, probably in our own lifetimes. The entire Earth is changing. The entire Earth is changing. Okay? Now, again, the United States Geological Survey is not showing all the earthquakes anywhere on the map at all. Not at all. There are 49 earthquakes here in South America. 49 earthquakes in South America, guys. Most of those earthquakes are here in Chile. Central Chile, northern Chile area here. We're seeing one earthquake up here in Peru. Northern Peru here, off the coast. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. Northern Chile here, typical. 4.2 earthquake here. The southern part of northern Chile here, we also have another 4.2 earthquake. That's pretty typical of what we see here in northern Chile. 18 earthquakes here in northern Chile. 14 earthquakes down here in central Chile, Argentina area. 14 earthquakes here, 18 up north. We have more earthquakes here in Peru, more earthquakes here in Colombia, and we have earthquakes over here in northern Venezuela around Caracas and south and east Caracas as well. They're happening. Why? Because we just had 2 major earthquakes here in northern Venezuela. 2 major earthquakes here. The ground is still trying to get back to normal here, where it was before the earthquakes happened. As a result of that landmass settling here, earthquakes are going to happen. They're still going through the debris here, through the rubble of buildings that collapse. About 20,000 buildings collapse here, including homes and businesses collapse. They're going through the buildings, trying to pick out survivors. Well, actually, no survivors are there. They're mostly picking out bodies from rubble. That's what's happening. Okay, sad to say. Pretty sad to say. Okay, now let's talk about earthquakes here in Central America and Southern Mexico. Right here, Southern Mexico, just north of Guatemala. This is a 4.3 earthquake here. Remember yesterday we had a large earthquake here? This is a 4.3 earthquake here, moderate earthquake. This is a 4.6 moderate earthquake. This is a 4.1 moderate earthquake. This is a 4.4. And this is a 4.2. Okay? This is just one small example of all the earthquakes hitting here in southern Mexico. There are 68 earthquakes here in southern Mexico, from Guatemala in the south all the way up here to Puerto Vallarta to the north. That's a lot of earthquakes. Lots of earthquakes. These continue happening every day. Every day, 365 days a year. USGS almost never shows all the earthquakes at all. Never do. Never will. Okay? With that said, we had a volcanic eruption yesterday in Guatemala. Fuego volcano erupted. Fuego volcano erupted up to 18,000 feet high. 18,000 foot eruption here at Fuego volcano. Huge eruption. Huge eruption. Some villages got damaged by lava bombs being thrown out of the volcano, lava going down the side of the volcano. Fuego volcano is a very dangerous volcano. Very, very dangerous volcano. Fuego volcano has been erupted off and on now for years. More years than I want to even think about. If you live down here in Guatemala, be very safe here. Be very safe. Stay off of the volcano completely. Don't go hiking there. Don't go exploring. Stay away from the volcano. Completely and safely away from the volcano. Okay? Now, let's go further north here. Again, United States Geological Survey is not going to show any earthquakes here in Mexico at all. None. None. They're showing one earthquake here, south of the border here. Alberto Oviedo Mota, Baja California. A 2.1 magnitude earthquake, a minor earthquake, 4 miles, 8 kilometers southwest of Alberta Oviedo Mota, Baja California. Okay? They're not showing any earthquakes here in Southern California, here in the Imperial Valley at all. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley today. A lot of earthquakes. They're not going to tell us about it. They want everybody to be on the blind side. They want to have everybody on the blind side. Over here, on the San Jacinto Fault. This is a 1.4 terminal on Coachella Wells. This is a 1.92.0 earthquake, also in Ocotillo Wells, California, the Western Imperial Valley. Western Imperial Valley. Now, over here, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you a seismogram from Bombay Beach. This is Bombay Beach here. Bombay Beach has a lot of earthquakes. Why? Because as you can see, the San Andreas Fault comes through Southern California along the east coast of the Salton Sea, and then it goes underneath the Salton Sea here at Bombay Beach. Here at Bombay Beach, we're going to show you 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes all day long here in Bombay Beach. 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here in Bombay Beach all day long. Anywhere from 10 to 17 earthquakes every day here in Bombay Beach. Then the San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea over here near Calipatria, California. Near Calipatria, California, right there. Then it moves to the west. Then it moves over here to the west. Over here towards Westmoreland right there. Okay? Up until January this year, USGS and Caltech had a seismograph here in Westmoreland, California. They've turned it off. They turned the seismograph off here in Westmoreland. Now we don't have any readings from Westmoreland at all. However, we have had readings from the Calipatria seismograph. The seismograph here in Calipatria has been operational until just recently. I'm going to show you a lot of earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley here. All kinds of earthquakes here. Now, going further south here. There is a seismograph here in the town of Imperial. There are earthquakes here in Imperial today. Going further south here into El Centro, guess what? All kinds of earthquakes here in El Centro. Tremors, 1.0, 1.9 tremors, 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes, and 9 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes. 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes here, there are 9 of them. That's pretty typical of what's here in El Centro. Then tonight, I'm also going to take you over to a town over here called Holtville, California. Holtville, California has a seismograph here. They have a museum of sorts here in Holtville. It's called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station. The Salton Sea Desert Research Station here in Holtville. We have earthquakes here in Holtville every day. Regardless of what USGS wants to tell us, there are earthquakes here on Holtville every day, without fail. Now, USGS does not always want to tell us what's going on. They want to keep it a secret. These earthquakes here in Southern California, guys, they're not even telling us exactly what's going on here. I'm going to blow you away, probably showing you all the earthquakes that are here. I'll blow you away. There's a reason. Up here in Los Angeles area, in the greater LA area, including Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Orange County, they have over 400 earthquakes a day. Over 400 earthquakes a day. Down in San Diego in the Imperial County, they have over 500 earthquakes a day. That's over 900 earthquakes a day in Southern California. 900 earthquakes a day in Southern California. That's a huge bunch. That's a huge bunch of earthquakes. These places I keep telling you about are very susceptible to earthquakes. I am specifically going to talk tonight about what is happening on the San Andreas Fault. What is going on in the San Andreas Fault? As I told you in the beginning of this program, As I told you in the beginning of this program, guys, this earthquake fault is huge. This earthquake fault is huge, guys. And it is at the greatest stress level it's ever been at. It is at the greatest stress level it has ever been at. I hope you all understand that. Here in Southern California, the San Andreas fault is at the greatest stress level it has ever been at. Meaning, at some point in time, it's going to pop. And it's going to pop in a huge way. It's going to pop in a huge way. People are going to be injured and people are going to be unalived. People are going to become injured and people are going to become unalive here. Now, given this situation, let's get serious here, guys. Let's get very serious here. The San Andreas fault is huge. It runs all the way from Northern California, all the way through California, into Northern Mexico, and down in Southern Mexico as well. Huge, huge fault area. Okay? The San Andreas fault lurks ominously beneath California's many natural wonders. A reminder that nothing in this landscape is truly permanent. Nothing in this landscape is truly permanent. Please remember that. For your own safety, you need to remember that. Nothing in this landscape is totally permanent. Folks, this is a picture of the aqueducts in Southern California. Water is taken out of the Colorado River and taken here in Southern California. These aqueducts stretch over the San Andreas Fault about 12 times, meaning when that fault finally goes, most of these aqueducts will also be destroyed. Most of these aqueducts will also be destroyed. Let's talk about this for a minute. Okay? The San Andreas Fault has been described as the mother of all earthquake faults, the source of both all of our geological birth, and perhaps our ultimate undoing as well. The most unnerving thing about the San Andreas Fault these days may be its silence. Maybe its silence. It's a mystery. Scientists are still trying to unlock. The San Andreas Fault is central to any discussion of California. The San Andreas Fault is a massive 800-mile spine of the state, turning from up in the Coachella Valley to the San Gabriel Mountains, pushing up along the Silicon Valley to beyond the Golden Gate. There is no simple answer for why California's longest fault, responsible for some of America's most powerful earthquakes, has produced so few earthquakes in the last century. Okay? Let that just sit in here for a minute. The biggest major earthquake fault is the San Andreas Fault. It's the most powerful, but yet it's produced so few earthquakes in the past century. It is very clear that the quiet period is only increasing strain on the San Andreas Fault, as well as on the state's second longest fault, the San Jacinto. Let's briefly take down this picture here and go back to USGS map here. I want to point out the San Jacinto Fault here. Look at this, guys. Please pay attention to this. This is important. You see the San Andreas Fault here? coming in here into the Los Angeles area, East LA. The San Jacinto Fault is also the second longest fault in Southern California. Stretches from up here north of Los Angeles, all the way down through Los Angeles, Orange County, all the way down here in San Diego County, all the way continuing down here into the Imperial Valley, Imperial County, California. San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault is here. The San Andreas Fault is out here to the east. Huge, huge difference. Huge, huge difference. A sleeping volcano is talking about a 2.4 earthquake up in Nye County, Nevada, Tonopah, Nevada. Okay? We've had a lot of earthquakes up in Tonopah, Nevada as of this last couple of days. Lots of them. All the earthquakes up in Tonopah, Nevada have been minor earthquakes, 2.2 to 2.8 minor earthquakes. Okay? Here on the San Andreas Fault, hundreds of people are going to be unalived and be very badly injured when this fault gives up. Okay? A new study underscores the concern researchers have. Researchers have estimated that key sections of the fault in Southern California are at the highest level of tectonic stress in the last 1,000 years. The highest level of tectonic stress in 1,000 years. The San Andreas Fault is, in other words, locked and loaded, and it's inevitably going to pop. The San Andreas Fault is a ticking BOMB. There are generations of Californians who have never experienced a period of the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault is responsible for a megaquake that ripped through the then sparsely populated state in 1857, an event that, if repeated today, would reap mass destruction. Mass destruction. In 1906, a crack in the edge of the world, as the author put it. Simon Winchester described it as flattened San Francisco. Flattened San Francisco. (1906), a crack in the edge of the world. We don't frequently talk about that earthquake, but it has happened. It's going to happen again. The San Andreas Fault here runs out of Northern California, down here just west of the opening to San Francisco Bay. 1906. A crack in the edge of the world. Californians have been faced to make do with the Hollywood CGI versions of the fault, which cast is one of the state's darkest villains. The San Andreas Fault is cast as the state's darkest villain. But sooner or later, scientists are saying California's earthquake faults will rupture in a way not seen in modern era. Not seen in the modern era. While California has seen sizable tremblers since the Great San Francisco Quake in 1906, the state's faults are capable of producing intense shaking over a much larger area than seen during more popular events or more modern events, such as Silmar Quake down in Southern California and Loma Linda and Northridge earthquakes. Loma Prieta earthquake here in San Francisco, 1979. The World Series earthquake. Hundreds of people died. Billions of dollars of damage happened on that fault. That earthquake. We keep accumulating stress, earthquake energy, that at some point in time is going to have to be released. And that's the only way it's going to get released, is through a large earthquake. The small ones don't do it. The smaller quakes and tremors don't do it. The latest study that was released last month, published in the Journal of Geophysical Research, Solid Earth, set out to create a huge model that calculated the seismic strain on 3 key segments of the San Andreas and the San Jacinto Faults, where they intersect the Cajon Pass in San Bernardino County. Let's move this map down into Southern California so I can show you what's going on here. Okay? Down here. Okay? As I said before, the San Andreas Fault is right up here, northeast of Los Angeles. The San Jacinto Fault is just south of there, southwest of there. Okay? The researchers said that they calculated the seismic strain on the 3 key segments, the San Andreas and the San Jacinto Faults, where they intersect the Cajon Pass in San Bernardino County, right up here. Okay? The model that they came up with is based on a number of factors. The estimated timing of earthquakes on the faults over the last 1,000 years, satellite observations of how fast tectonic plates are moving, and estimates of how rigid the Earth's crust is, which determines how much stress can be accommodated and then released. The computer model found that tectonic stress has now reached the higher levels than at any point in this entire record. From the model, we see that the conditions that historically preceded large joint ruptures crossing both fault systems are now approaching. The conditions are ripe for a very large rupture on both the San Andreas and the San Jacinto fault systems. It's approaching. The last major earthquake struck urban Southern California with a magnitude 6.7 earthquake in Northridge in 1994. 6.7 earthquake in Northridge, California in 1994. At the time, I was a cop in San Diego. Myself and hundreds of other cops from all over Southern California were asked to drive up to Northridge and help Los Angeles Northridge police in that area because they've had massive damage there. They had much, I can't even say much, they had massive damage. Massive damage. I saw buildings and apartment complexes pancake. I saw other buildings, large and small, pancake. I saw highways that were pancaked. One such highway that pancaked during the earthquake, a California highway patrolman hit a bridge abutment and he died hitting that bridge abutment because the earth was shaking in such a manner he lost control of his motorbike and plowed into the bridge abutment, killed him, along with hundreds of other people. That earthquake in Northridge resulted in severe damage and the deaths of 60 people, but it was mostly limited to a relatively small area of Los Angeles County. By comparison, A hypothetical magnitude 7.8 earthquake on the southern San Andreas Fault would simultaneously bring violent shaking to LA, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, Ventura, and Imperial County, as well as San Diego County. That 7.8 earthquake in Southern California could result in 1,800 people being unalived, 1,800 people being unalived. That is according to USGS estimate in 2008, nearly 20 years ago. The findings of the latest study don't change the overall expectation of a big earthquake hitting Southern California. But this study underscores the persistent risk as well as the possible scale of the disaster that's going to happen when the San Andreas Fault pops. There's a 60% chance of a magnitude 6.7 or greater earthquake striking Los Angeles region by 2045. There's about a 1 in 5 chance of such an earthquake striking the San Andreas Fault within LA and the Inland Empire, within the LA County area and the Inland Empire, all the way out to San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange County, all the way down to San Diego and the Imperial County as well. The decades-long relative earthquake drought. There's been a decades-long earthquake drought since the Northridge earthquake in 1994. It is an unusually long interseismic period, and stress has been accumulating continuously throughout that area. The study that's out now calculated that the San Andreas Fault, just northwest of the Cajon Pass, and the San Jacinto Fault, just southwest of the pass, are at their highest tectonic strain since the year 1100. I'm going to repeat that. The San Jacinto and the San Jacinto faults are at their highest tectonic strain since the year 1100. The Cajon Pass, Interstate 15. I've driven on it many, many times. Those of you who are part of our EMA family, you've probably also driven it many, many times. The Cajon Pass roughly is 50 miles northeast of downtown Los Angeles. It marks the dividing line between the San Gabriel Mountains to the west and the San Bernardino Mountains to the east. Specifically, the authors of this new tectonic plate study said that the current tectonic stress was 2.8 megapascals on the San Andreas Fault northwest of the pass, surpassing the previous highs of 2.7 before the big quakes in 1469 and 1691. In other words, the San Jacinto and the San Andreas Fault, when they pop, it's going to be totally devastating. For the San Jacinto, the people involved with the study calculated a current seismic stress of 3.6 megapascals, surpassing the previous high of 2.9 before an earthquake in 1249. Previous high earthquake in 1249. The study also noted that it has been an unusually long time since a megaquake has hit Southern California. The San Andreas Fault, guys, the San Andreas Fault northwest of the Cajon Pass usually has big quakes every 100 to 150 years, though intervals of up to 200 years are not unheard of. on the San Andreas Fault, southeast of the pass. Big quakes there usually happen every 200, 250 years. But the most recent quake on the San Andreas Fault along the Salton Sea close to the Mexican border was over 300 years ago. It was about 300 years ago. Now, guys, I know what you might be thinking. Down here to the south. Near the San Andreas Fault here in northern Mexico. Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico, just south of the U.S. border. 2011, we had a 7.1 earthquake. We had a major 7.1 earthquake, and scientists are now saying it may have been larger than that. Right next to the San Andreas Fault. Literally right next to the San Andreas Fault. Now, they're not saying that earthquake didn't have any kind of representation in the study, but it is adding to the study. The San Andreas Fault is about ready to pop. The scientists are also acknowledging that there are some limitations to the study. The earthquake model presumes that when the large earthquakes hit, all the tectonic stress that's been accumulating on the fault gets released. All the tectonic stress that's been on the fault gets released. That may or may not be totally the case. The fault could release some or all of it, or portions of that stress. In that case, we could have back-to-back earthquakes for a very long time. It's not known if the big earthquake is going to be hit or not, but we know it's going to hit at some point in time. But whenever it strikes, a supersized earthquake on the southern San Andreas Fault would be like no other earthquake ever seen in living memory in California. In 1857, the quake then on the San Andreas Fault was estimated to be a 7.9. That earthquake produced 63 times more shaking energy than the 1994 Northridge quake. 63 times more energy than the Northridge earthquake. That's huge. And that earthquake in 1857 unleashed energy across a much larger swath of the state. In 1994, the violent shaking, or level 9 of what they said on the modified Mercalli intensity scale, caused great damage in substantial buildings, but affected only part of the San Fernando Valley, Northridge, California. But a magnitude 7.8 and at San Andreas Fault in its 2008 shakeout series would cause that kind of shaking across all of Southern California. Cause violent level 9 type shaking all up and down Southern California. Do you guys understand what we're talking about here? Do you guys get it? It's interesting, over the last 10 minutes, we've gone from 40 people watching this program, 31, 32 now. Are you even interested in what we're saying here? We have a great many EMA family members living here in Southern California. I have my own family members and friends also, living in San Diego, Imperial County, Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, all over that area, region-wide. 1994, as I said, I was a cop. Emergency responders from all across Southern California were able to focus our efforts on the especially hard-hit areas around Northridge. That will not be possible with a region-wide earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. It's not going to be possible. Highways and byways, service roads will be destroyed. Now, it might be tempting for Californians to tune in or tune out of the talk of the big one after they've heard about most of their lives. People are not earthquake savvy anymore. They tune it out. They don't want to hear about it anymore. Guess what, folks? It's going to happen. And it's going to affect you as well. It's going to affect you as well. Generational catastrophes do strike. But an earthquake in San Francisco in 1906, hurricane in New Orleans in 2005, or tsunamis in the Indian Ocean in 2004, or the tsunami and earthquake in Japan in 2011. Earthquakes are part of bargain living in California. They're part of the bargain living in California. I don't know so much anymore if it's bargain living anymore. Between gas prices that made things more expensive and everyday taxes leveled by their government in California, Californians no longer have a bargain at all. But the same tectonics that drive earthquakes act as a state's landscape artists. The same tectonics that drive earthquakes act as a state's landscape artists. Happens. It happens, guys. The San Andreas Fault is real. Real. Because the people in California are literally living on the edge of the continent. They're on the literal plate boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. They have been on a plate boundary for over a couple 100 million years. There's constantly been stuff crashing in North America and getting stuck to it and getting uplifted as well and erupted through it as well. 1917, we had Lassen volcano erupt. Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980. The Pacific Plate is subducting under the North American Fault. As we talked before, the Juan de Fuca Plate is also subducting under the North American Plate to the north. Constantly, the Western Plates are subducting under California and the Pacific Northwest. The Sierra Nevada, California's highest mountain range. Those Sierra Nevada areas are the guts of the volcanoes used to be there when there was a huge subduction zone there. And then when those volcanoes stopped erupting, the guts of them lifted up through the crust. The same forces that produce earthquakes are also what led to the gold to form in the Sierra foothills, inciting the state's famous gold rush. Tectonic plate movement also created today's Central Valley of California, highly productive agricultural area that was once part of the ocean. then an inland sea, and then a freshwater lake, and then desert. Everything that what we see here is stuff that formed because of the plate boundary that was then. The plate boundary is getting moved around by the tectonic plate boundaries now. So if we didn't have anything like that, we would be like Nebraska. We'd be like Nebraska with nothing happening. But the risk in California, guys, are like the rewards. The risks are like the rewards, they're significant. The San Andreas Fault runs right through cities in the Inland Empire. The Los Angeles Basin is also at risk. As I've explained this to you before, the seismic energy comes down to the San Andreas Fault. San Andreas Fault pops. All the other ancillary faults also pop. All the other ancillary faults also pop. The entire LA Basin, Riverside, San Bernardino counties, Orange County, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley, the Imperial County, are going to be devastated when the earthquake hits. Now, in an earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, comes from the south and heads north. The San Andreas Fault will then show energy right into downtown, causing shaking that could last 2 to 3 minutes long. Shaking that could last 2 to 3 minutes long. We're already seeing tremor activity around the country, around the United States, lasting 2 to 3 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes long. Geologically, the Los Angeles area is a bowl of jello. The Los Angeles area is a bowl of jello. Quite realistically, guys, think about it. Think about what we're showing you here. It's like a bowl of jelly. It's going to shake. It's going to shake hard. It's going to shake hard. It's going to keep shaking as well. Like a huge bowl of jelly here. I'm talking about this whole area right here. Okay? It is a rock hard bowl of very, really soft, squishy stuff that shakes very easily. Now, scientists do not understand why it's been so quiet as of late. Another study that was published in 2023 suggested that the lack of sudden major floodwaters funneling into Lake Cahuilla, and a larger historical predecessor to the Salton Sea, may have something to do with it. There's less water in Southern California coming in through the aqueducts and other places where the big lakes don't have much water in them, including the Salton Sea. The study's result is a good reminder to prepare for the next big earthquake. We talk about earthquake preparedness all the time. Once a year, California has what they call the big shakeout. Utah has what they call the big shakeout there because Utah has the big, huge Wasatch Fault running from southeast Idaho through central Utah. 7 different segments of that fault could go, or all 7 segments could go all at once. So just like what's going to happen on the San Andreas Fault. It's a suggestion that the fault systems are going to be more loaded than at any time in the previous 1,000-year record. And as a result of that understanding, we need to start taking the San Andreas Fault shaking more seriously. In the end, this is it. This is the message we're going to give you. In the end, the most important message is a simple one. Let's make sure we are prepared for the earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, guys. Promise you, it's going to happen. And most people are going to be unaware. Most people are going to say it's not going to happen to me, but it is. It's definitely going to happen to you as well. Let's show you a few earthquakes around Southern California here. It's hotter than heck here, guys. We have temperatures in the 90s here. In our EMA studio offices here, we have temperatures probably 80 degrees, and I'm in that office right now. Let's talk about earthquakes in Southern California right now. This is Channel Island. This is an island off the coast of Los Angeles City. Off the coast of Los Angeles City. Look what we see here, guys. And this is significant. This is significant, guys. Please pay attention here. Up at the top line here. Up at the top line, this is 5 p.m. yesterday on the left-hand side. About 6 minutes after 5 p.m., we had a 2.8 earthquake here. 2.8 minor earthquake here. However, at approximately 5:20 p.m. last night, we had a 3.0 earthquake here on Channel Island. 3.0 earthquake at 5:20 p.m. on Channel Island. 3.0 small earthquake. Look at the other earthquakes here. Most of these earthquakes are tremors. 1.0, 1.9 tremors here. However, right here after 3:15 this morning, 3:15 over on the red line, left-hand side, you see 0300 hours, that's 3 a.m. We go over here to the right, approximately 3:28 this morning, 2.0 minor earthquake here. 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes cannot be felt, just as tremors 1.0 to 1.9 can also not be felt. But that 3.0 earthquake early this morning was felt. Anybody that went to sleep early got woken up. Everybody else that was walking around on Channel Island, visiting shops and restaurants and such, they got shook out of their minds there for a minute. Small shaking activity, but it still shook. People wondered what was going on. Channel Island got a wake-up call. In the past year on Channel Island, they've had many earthquakes here. Many, many earthquakes. In past years, we talked about that. We've talked about that, guys. Now, let's move forward here. I want to take us now over to Rancho Mirage, California, out in the desert. We just got through talking about the San Andreas Fault. Rancho Mirage, California, we're seeing tremors here on the San Andreas Fault here. Long duration tremor activity here. Now, it's not just 2 or 3 minutes of tremor activity. We're talking anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes of tremor activity. This kind of activity continues here. Guess what? We may see 7.8 earthquakes happening here for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes long. How would you like to feel major seismic shaking for 10 minutes long? Buildings going down. Buildings going down all around you. Buildings being destroyed. Roadways, highways, overpasses being destroyed. Big, huge fissures being opened up in the roadways. Fissures open up all over the place. That's also going to happen. Okay? Let's go out to Bakersfield. Also out in the desert with the San Andreas Fault. Look what we're seeing here in Bakersfield. Mostly tremors here. Mostly tremors. But I want you to look at something here. Again, this seismogram is showing us activity after 5 p.m. last night. 1800 hours to 6 p.m. You go over to the center of this seismogram here on the black line after 6 p.m. That's about 6:10 p.m. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. And then a bunch of tremor activity after that. Look at all this tremor activity in Bakersfield. We've seen tremor activity here. We've seen small earthquake activity here in Bakersfield before. Let's go over to Cabazon. On the west side of the San Bernardino Mountains. Cabazon is in the desert. Again, look what we're seeing here. Long duration tremor activity building into what? Minor earthquakes. Upwards of 2.0, 2.2 minor earthquakes as well. Guys, these tremors will last anywhere from 5 to 7 to 10 minutes long. You can see it here. Again, this is on the San Andreas Fault. When the 7.0, 7.5, 7.9 earthquake hits on the San Andreas Fault, we could realistically see these 7 to 10 minute long shaking periods here. Not just 2 to 3 minutes, but 7 to 10 minutes here. We're already getting that here. It's already happening. Okay? Now, let's go out north to Lancaster. Lancaster. There's an Air Force base out there. Also a private municipal airport called Fox Airport. We have a seismograph here. On this particular seismograph, on the seismograph here, we're showing lots of tremors here. No small earthquakes, but lots of tremors here. Again, on the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Let's go over to Victorville. One of my good friends, Isaiah's granny, who's a member of our program here, she lives in Victorville here. We've had 3.0 earthquakes here in Victorville. Today we're seeing some tremors and 1 minor earthquake. Tremors and 1 minor earthquake. That minor earthquake happened last night, about 10:31 p.m. last night, on that blue line there. 2.3, 2.4 earthquake last night. Victorville, California. Isaiah's granny didn't feel it. Tremors and minor earthquakes cannot be felt. But as I said before, we've seen 3.0 earthquakes out here in Victorville. It's going to happen again. I've had many discussions with Isaiah's granny about these earthquakes. I've asked her to be prepared, and I know she's preparing her family as well. Earthquakes are going to happen here. Now, let's go over into Los Angeles. Over in the oil refinery areas of Los Angeles called Baldwin Hills. Baldwin Hills. Okay? This used to be a forested area over in Los Angeles. In about the 1940s, the powers that be bulldozed this Baldwin Hills area, made it flat, and put up pumps and jacks all over the Baldwin Hills. Here they have a seismograph as well. Why? Because they want to try to protect their investment of the oil here in the Baldwin Hills. All we are seeing here in the Baldwin Hills are tremors, tiny tremors here. 1.0, 1.2, 1.3 tremors here at maxed. When the LA earthquake hits, We may see a 5.0 here in the Baldwin Hills. We may see a 5.0 earthquake hit in the Baldwin Hills. That's not unrealistic. That's not unrealistic here. Let's go to Camarillo. Camarillo here is a residential area for the most part. Yes, they have a downtown area, but they don't have huge high rises like the rest of Los Angeles has. All we have here in Camarillo are tremors today. 1.0, 1.3 tremors here today here in Camarillo, California. Let's keep going here. Let's go over to Chino, northeast of Los Angeles. Here in Chino, California, we're seeing tremors here as well. Up until January this last year, we had tremors and we had minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes happening here in Chino every day. They're going to hit here again very soon. Very soon. Again, on the San Andreas Fault. Let's go into Los Angeles City. There are some suburbs of Los Angeles I'm going to show you here that have had substantial earthquakes here. One of them is the town of Ellis. Ellis. Here in Ellis, California, here all we have are tremors here today. Tremors here. We've had 3.0 earthquakes here in Ellis, California last year. Last wintertime and autumn last year. 3.0 small earthquakes here in Ellis, California. Moving forward, Fontana, also over in the LA area east of Los Angeles. This is what we show here in Fontana, guys. Again, I showed you this last week because the USGS and Caltech shut off the seismograph here. I should say shut off the seismograph last night just after 9:20 p.m. Just after 9:25 p.m. They shut it off. They're not showing any activity after 9:20 p.m. at all, period. Nothing. Why? We don't know. I'm going to hypothesize here because already here last night, just after 5:02 p.m. last night, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. 5:02 p.m. last night, we had a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Smaller than 3.0, but I'm going to tell you this. Fontana keeps having earthquakes here every day. 3.0 earthquakes here every day. Not just minor earthquakes, but 3.0 small earthquakes as well. This is over here on the San Jacinto Fault. San Jacinto Fault. Here today, we're seeing some tremor activity. And yes, we're seeing some minor earthquakes here as well. Right after 5 p.m., we had tremor activity up until 5:02 when we had that 2.8, 2.9. Then we dropped down here to 1900 after 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on the left-hand side of this black line. Over here on the center here. Now we're at 7:08 p.m. here. And we're having minor earthquake here. 2.0, 2.2 earthquake here. Last night. And I'm sure we have more than that here in Fontana. When we have a full seismogram to show you, we will. And I guarantee you they'll have more earthquakes than just this. This is because USGS and Caltech shut off the seismograph. They don't want to show us what's actually happening here. Okay? Let's keep going here. This is over along the southern coastline of Los Angeles. This is Laguna Niguel. Laguna Niguel. This is very typical of what we see in Laguna Niguel. Tremor activity. Tremor activity along the Pacific Ocean, along the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate here on the Pacific Ocean. Laguna Niguel. Now, let's keep going here. Give me just a second. I forgot to get a couple things here. We're going to get them for you. Guarantee you we're going to get them for you. Okay. I forgot to put on my database here Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey. Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey are to the north coast of Los Angeles. North coast of Los Angeles. I'm going to show you that in just a minute here. Everybody needs to see this. It's important because earthquakes continue to happen here. Earthquakes continue to hit here. And everybody needs to see it. I'm talking everybody. Okay? I'm talking everybody. Give me just a second here. Okay, I got it all. I got it all. This is Laguna Niguel down on the south coast of Los Angeles. Let's go up and show you Playa del Rey as well. This is Playa del Rey. Tremor activity here as well. Okay. Yes, we've had some minor earthquakes here in Playa del Rey before. I fully expect that to happen again. I fully expect that to happen again. Okay. Tremor activity up and down the entire coastline of Los Angeles. But that's not the only thing we show here. I show you a lot more earthquakes than this. This is going to blow your mind. Okay. Let's go over to Long Beach. Long Beach, California. Look at this, guys. This happens every day of every year. 365 days a year. We have tremors here. 1.0, 1.9. We have 2.0 earthquakes here. 2.8, 2.9 minor earthquakes here. We also have seen 3.0 earthquakes here in Long Beach, California today. Okay. We've seen small earthquake activity happen here in Long Beach, California today. Look at these longer lines here. Look at these longer lines here. For the most part, all of this is just minor earthquakes, but I believe there's one 3.0 earthquake here as well. Long Beach, California. Let's go over to Anaheim now. This is Anaheim, guys. For the first time in over a year, guys, the seismogram here in Anaheim is not showing as much activity as it has in the past. Usually it's top to bottom seismic activity, tremors, minor earthquakes, and 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California. Largest earthquakes here in Anaheim, California are just tremors here today. This is the first time. Last week we're showing 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California. Not today, unfortunately. Earthquakes continue to happen here, though. They continue to happen here. There's at least one minor earthquake here. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. Right here. After 2:45 this morning on the green line here on the left-hand side. That's a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Anaheim, California. And then down here on the bottom green line here, bottom green on the left-hand side would be 4:45. Here we are at 4:52 a.m. this morning. That's a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake here, 4:52 this morning. Anaheim, California. Earthquakes do happen here. They happen very frequently. And yes, we've seen 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California before. They're going to happen again and again and again. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. The guys, we're approaching 2 hours here. I told you I would show you earthquakes in the Imperial Valley as well. Before we get there, I want to show you San Diego. I want to show you San Diego as well. Before I do that, 2 more seismograms here in Los Angeles. Northeast of Los Angeles is a town called Mira Loma. And north of Mira Loma is Loma Linda, where the medical center is. This is a seismogram at Mira Loma. Here today, we're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes. That's very typical. This also is on the San Jacinto Fault. So you expect to see these minor earthquakes here all the time. All the time. Okay? Let's go over here to Moore Park, north of the city of Los Angeles. The city called Moore Park. About 80,000 people live here in Moore Park. Look what we're seeing here, guys. Unreal. After 6 p.m. last night, 6:05 p.m. last night, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. After 8 p.m. last night, 3.0 small earthquake here. 3.0 small earthquake. Last week, if you remember here in Moore Park, we had a 3-minute long small earthquake. We had a 3-minute long 3.5 earthquake here in Moore Park last week. Unreal. They do happen. They do happen. On the next red line here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This earthquake happened here at about 8:24 p.m. last night. Another 3.2 earthquake here. 3.2 earthquake here in Moore Park, California. Then another earthquake hit here. This happened at 8:49 p.m. last night on the green line. A 3.0 earthquake. After that, over here on the right-hand side, 2.6 earthquake. 2.6 earthquake at 8:58, actually 8:57 p.m. last night. Then after 9 p.m., 9:05 p.m. last night, we had a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake on the black line. On the next green line after that is 9:50, I think 9:54. Let me look at this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, about 9:54 p.m. last night. 3.2 earthquake here. 3.2 earthquake here. And then after that, we had tremor activity. Tremor activity. Moore Park tends to have more earthquakes than Los Angeles ever saw. However, we have had some minor earthquakes here in the city of Los Angeles before as well. Today here in the city of Los Angeles, all we had were tremors. Just tremors. That's all the city of Los Angeles wants to tell us about. Tremor activity in the city of Los Angeles. Okay? Let's go over to Mariloma. Mariloma. Mariloma is just south of Loma Linda, guys. Here we're seeing tremors, minor earthquakes here. Tremors, minor 2.0 earthquakes here. Mariloma, California. Again, this over on the San Jacinto Fault, just like Fontana. Mariloma, California. Now, let's go over to before I go into San Diego County. I'm going over here to north of Lake Elsinore, California, to a town called Ivy Glen. Ivy Glen, Orange County. This is on the east side of the mountain separating Orange County from Los Angeles. The mountains that separate Orange County from Los Angeles. Here in Ivy Glen, we were seeing minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes. Upwards of 2.8, 2.9, just prior to the 3.0 earthquake. Anywhere from 2.0 on up to 2.8, 2.9. Let me enlarge the segment so you can see what I'm saying here. After 9:30 last night, on the blue line on the left-hand side, that's a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. We go over to the right, okay? At 2:41 p.m. last night, we had a 3.0 earthquake here. 3.0 earthquake. And prior to that, on that same line after 9:30, about 9:36, we had another 3.0 earthquake there. And then minor earthquake 2.0, 2.9 here as well. Ivy Glen, California. Look at all these earthquakes here in Ivy Glen. This is very typical of Ivy Glen now, guys. Ever since I discovered this beginning of the year, I've been trying to show you Ivy Glen here as often as we can. Earthquakes are happening here in Orange County as well. Let's go over to San Diego County now. Over the coastal area of San Diego County, La Jolla. San Diego County, La Jolla. Scripps Institute of Oceanography here. Just like last week, we are seeing all kinds of tremors here. All kinds of tremors here at the Scripps Institute of Oceanography. Look at this. Probably close to 100 tremors here. 100 tremors here. This is on the Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault comes out of Los Angeles, guys, over near Newport Beach, Inglewood area. Rose Canyon Fault comes out of Los Angeles from the Inglewood Fault area, comes down here in San Diego County. There's San Diego County about Encinitas, travels around all the way down, mimicking the coastline, all the way down here to La Jolla. And Rose Canyon Falls is showing tremors here, all kinds of tremors. Then the Rose Canyon Fall goes into downtown San Diego and out in the harbor area, goes back out to sea. The Rose Canyon Fall is capable of a 7.5 earthquake here in San Diego County. A 7.5 earthquake along the coastline of San Diego County can happen. Can happen. Let's go over to the Imperial Valley here, Imperial County. I want to show you Bombay Beach here. I told you I'd show you Bombay Beach. I'm showing you now. Every day here, every day without fail, they have anywhere from 7 to 15 3.0 4.5 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley here at Bombay Beach. That's because the San Andreas fault comes down here. The San Andreas fault comes down the east side of the Salton Sea down to Bombay Beach. And as a result, we see these kinds of earthquakes here all day long. All day long. This particular seismograph starts at 5 a.m. this morning, goes to 5 p.m. this evening. Okay? We're seeing 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here so far. I don't think we've seen some 4.5 earthquakes here today. Yet. Okay? Bombay Beach, California. Now, I told you about Calipatri as well. Calipatri here. Calipatri, California, guys, has between 75 and 150 earthquakes a day. Between 75 to 150 earthquakes a day. Look what we're seeing here. Last night here, guys, from 3 p.m. until about midnight, you may have seen about 25, 30 earthquakes here. The red lines here, the red vertical lines are computer generated to get the attention of seismologists to say, here's an earthquake you need to pay attention to. So far today, or last night, I think all we had here was at the most a 2.8 earthquake, 2.8 minor earthquake. Let's scroll down here. After midnight, in this case, I believe the seismologists came back to work early. Why is that? Because after 4 a.m. this morning, all of a sudden, we have more earthquakes here. A lot more earthquakes. 0400 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side. After that, we see more earthquakes. Look at this. All kinds of earthquakes here, guys. This red earthquake that's a little bit thicker here lasts about 15 seconds. Guys, that was a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake happened about 6:32 this morning. 6:32 this morning. Then about 30 minutes after that, another 2.8, 2.9, maybe 3.0 earthquake happened there. Then we come down here, scrolling down here this afternoon. After approximately after approximately 12, I want to say 12:10 this afternoon. See that red earthquake there that's a little bit wide? It lasts about 20 seconds. We saw tremor activity building up to that earthquake, and tremor activity after that. This was a 3.0 earthquake. Judging by the size of the earthquake from top to bottom, we would have probably said this was 2.6, 2.7. However, the top and the bottom of this seismic sequence was cut off, which means this earthquake was a larger earthquake than is showing here. Larger earthquake than is showing here. 3 points earthquake here this afternoon. Yes, here on the Calipatria seismogram, guys, we've seen 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here before. It's going to happen again. Let's see it happen again. Here on this particular fault, or here on this particular seismogram, guys, we've probably seen 100 earthquakes here today. A total of 100 earthquakes here on the Calipatria seismogram today. 25 last night, 25 to 30 last night. Then after between 4 and 4 p.m. tonight, another 75 earthquakes at least. Okay, this happens here in the Imperial Valley all the time. All the time, guys. Let's look at El Centro now. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is El Centro. Okay, I've told you this before. Okay, we have an EMA family member living here in El Centro. His name's Juanito. He and his wife has sent us. He and his wife and kids have sent us gifts for our dogs and us 2 years ago. Occasionally we'll see him in our chat. Here in El Centro here, we're seeing a lot of earthquakes. Yes, we're seeing some tremors here. Granted, we have tremors here. We also have some minor earthquakes here. And yes, we have a heck of a lot of 3.0 earthquakes here. 3.0 large earthquakes here. For example, we have an earthquake here in the red here on the right-hand side here, just after one, I'm going to say 128, 129 this morning. The top and the bottom of the sequence was cut off. This is probably a 3.5 earthquake here in El Centro. 3.5 earthquake here in El Centro, guys. We have back-to-back earthquakes here as well. But when the agency, USGS, cuts off the top of these sequences, that means the earthquakes are much larger than they're being shown here. This is probably a 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here this morning, or last night, early this morning. 128, 129 last night, this morning. All kinds of 3.0 earthquakes have hit here. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25 3.0 and large earthquakes here. 25 3.0 and large earthquakes here in the town of El Centro. Those numbers are huge. Those numbers are huge numbers. Incredible numbers. Now, guys, do you have any questions here? Do you have any questions? Now, granted, here in Calipatria, over in Calipatria, we saw seismic energy from the San Andreas Fault. Here in El Centro, it's coming from a very different place. Seismic energy coming from the Pacific coast Going through San Diego out to the east, we're still coming up with these kind of earthquakes here. We're still seeing these kind of earthquakes here. Every day. Every day, guys. For USGS to deny it, it's impossible to deny. They can't explain it. Excuse me, they don't want to explain it. They want to keep us dumb. They want to keep us dumb as if we don't know what's going on. We do know what's going on. We do know what's going on. I pointed out Holtville earlier. This is a Holtville seismogram here. Southeastern Imperial County, Holtville, California. Here we're seeing tremors here in minor earthquakes. Tremors, minor earthquakes here in Holtville. Yes, we've had 3 points of earthquakes here in Holtville before. We'll have them again. The entire Imperial Valley is shaking. Between Imperial Valley and San Diego County, we have 500 earthquakes a day. 500 earthquakes a day, every day. Okay? Every day. Any questions about this? Any questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions? We have total vagabonds from the Emerald Isles, Ireland. Total vagabonds, welcome here. We appreciate you being here. In the Emerald Islands, guys, Ireland, it's very early there. Way early in the morning, probably 4 o'clock in the morning. We appreciate you being here, guys. Thank you for being here. God bless you guys over in Ireland and England. Appreciate you being here. The guys, God has a purpose for our lives. Your life has a purpose and it has meaning. Life here on earth did not just happen by accident. Each one of us are children of God. We're here as part of his plan of happiness. God wants us to be happy. He really does. We believe that each of us have existed before we had earth, before the earth was created. We lived with God in his as spirit children of our Heavenly Father in spirit form. Our Heavenly Father sent us to earth here where we could receive a body and learn and grow and become more like him. As we follow God's plan, we can return to live in his presence. If you've ever felt you have a greater purpose than simply existing, you're right. You can find your purpose by turning to God. You can find your purpose by turning to God. God wants us to be happy. I bear testimony that God wants us to be happy. The gospel of Jesus Christ promises us peace, strength, and joy to all those who follow God's commandments, to all those who obey his commandments. But how can joy be our purpose when life is so full of such many struggles that we all have? The simple answer is Jesus Christ. Through Jesus Christ, we can find comfort in our sorrows. We can be strengthened through our difficulties. We can feel gratitude for the many beautiful things that are here on earth to enjoy during our lifetime. We can also improve our relationships with those we love by living the principles that he taught us from the scriptures: compassion, service, forgiveness, and love. By providing us a Savior, God created a path for all his children to find joy. Our life today is a time to learn and grow. And going through difficult times can help us to remember God's plan for you that extends beyond your mortal life. As you do your best to follow him, everything you experience will be made right someday through Jesus Christ. The scripture promises us that God shall wipe all our tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. Revelations 21, verse 4. May we follow God during our lifetime. May we follow him to find grace and happiness in our day with everybody in our life, our family, our friends, our neighbors and friends, everybody that we encounter. Let's smile at them. Let's offer them a hand out, a hand up, and help them exist and find life and happiness in their own life. May God bless you. We may all find this peace and joy in our life. I love you guys. I love each one of you. Each one of you bring much happiness and joy in my life every day. I appreciate you all being here. Guys, if you will, please go and follow our Venmo addresses here. They're scrolling across on your screen. And leave us a donation to our Venmo address here. We'd appreciate it. Also, you can write us a letter or a card. And inside that letter or card, you can stick us a check or even cash and send it to us through the Postal Service. Our address here is 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. Please help us by doing that, guys. Please help us. We'd appreciate it. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. Again, I want to tell you I love you. I love everybody here. You bring great joy to my life. Thank you for being here, guys. Tomorrow will be another episode of Emergency Management Associates, sometime between 4 and 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, have a good night and a better day tomorrow. God be with you until we meet again. Take care, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Good night. Be safe out there.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information. and keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good